Hello everyone. So in today's video we will be discussing about SDS page. It is basically a technique which is used to separate proteins. So we will be discussing about the basics of SDS in this theoretical session. Then we will go towards the actual lab experiment in which where we will perform the actual lab experiment, and I'll give you the protocols that how you can cast a gel and how you will perform this SDS page experiment. So let's go into the some basics of SDS page. What does this SDS stands for? It is sodium dodecyl sulfate, and this page is polyacrylamide gel electrophoresis. Now what is this SDS? SDS, it is basically an amphipathic molecule or amphipathic detergent which is having an anionic head group and a lipophilic tail. Now what is the function of this SDS? The main function that SDS does in this technique is it breaks down the quaternary or tertiary or secondary structures of protein into linear ones. And one more function it does. What is it? It gives a negative charge on the protein molecule. So the nascent charge of the protein will be masked by this SDS while we are using this technique. So all the during the SDS page, all the protein migrates towards anode, that is the positively charged electrodes. They will migrate towards positively charged or anode. Okay, now one more or few more things about the basics of SDS, that who have invented this technique. This technique was invented by Ulrich K. Lamely, and this technique is also known as, or it is a discontinuous electrophoretic system. Now we will go into the lab part, then how we can actually perform the experiment. This is just the basics of what one must know before actually performing this SDS page technique. Now let's head to the lab part. So now what we are doing here is we are showing that these are two plates. One is tapered and another one is a plain glass plate, and this green portion is your casting frame, and this transparent unit is which we are using to cast the gel while using this casting frame. Now we have to put these, or we have to assemble these glass plates in this direction, that the smaller plate should be at the front side and the thicker plate or the larger plate should be at the back side, and this way we have to tighten the screws, or we have to tighten the casting frame. We have also checked that there should not be any leaking, and both the plates should be at equal level or the same level from the bottom. Now this is the process how we are going to fix this casting into this casting system. This is a comb which we will fit into this glass plates, between these glass plates, and since it is these plates are very thin, so we have to carefully assemble the unit. And now we are marking the place till which we have to fill out our resolving gel. We are having two gels, stacking gel and resolving gel. So the upper portion is remaining for the stacking gel, and the bottom portion is basically for the resolving gel. So before before making any resolving gel or any stacking gel, first we have to check any leak or not, because once you are preparing the gel and if it's leak, then there won't be any, then there is no point of there is no point of making a gel. So what does it contains? It contains an acrylamide, it contains tris of pH 8.8 and 1.5 millimolar concentration, it has SDS, it has distilled water, it has ammonium persulfate, or you can call it as APS, it is also having timid. One thing which you need to keep remember here is that you have to add APS and timid at the last after adding all these other components, because these two components play an important role in the solidifying or in the solidifying of the particular resolving gel, because these are the solidifying agent kind of. So you have to add these two components at the end after adding all the other components. Same wise you have to do it with the stacking gel, where you have to add APS and timid. You will add those components at the end after adding all other components. Now we have prepared our resolving gel, and we will be pouring that resolving gel in a while. The purpose of two gels, a stacking gel and a resolving gel, is the stacking gels serves as a function that it will accumulate all the proteins at one particular layer or one particular line, so that after that line they are at the starting point, same starting point, and they will start migrating, or they will start passing through the resolving gel at the same point. And resolving gel is your actual gel which serves the function of your separation of your different proteins. Now this we have added your resolving gel, and now at the top of that layer we are adding some ethanol, so that so at the top of that bottom layer, the dissolving layer, we have added some ethanol just to avoid, or just to get the resolving gel get solidified, so that we can further add your stacking gel at the top of the resolving gel. In some labs there is no need, they don't add ethanol at the upper layer, because they just pour the resolving gel and they will wait for it to get solidified. Then after few minutes, then when it gets solidified, they will add your stacking gel at the upper part of the resolving gel. But it's completely independent, it's completely lab dependent whether you are adding ethanol at the top of the resolving gel or not. Now since in this procedure we have added the ethanol, now after the solidifying of the resolving gel, we will remove your ethanol by the help of your filter paper or your some other normal paper which will soak out the, or tissue paper which can soak out your ethanol. This is the composition of your stacking gel. Again we are having acrylamide, we are having 0.5 molar tris HCl, we are having SDS, we are having distilled water, we are having APS and timid. The only difference here is we are at the resolving gel we are using 1.5 molar tris, and here we are using 0.5 molar tris, and the pH is also different. There we are using a pH of 8.8, here we are using a pH of 6.2. that one thing that you need to remember is you have to add APS and timid at the last. Now we will prepare the stacking gel, and now we will be adding the stacking gel at the top of the resolving gel. So now we are pouring that stacking gel, and after pouring we will wait for a few minutes so that it can get solidified, and we will also add the combs, because we will need wells, so that where we will put our samples, our protein samples. So as soon as we will pour that stacking gel, we will add the comb and we will wait to it get solidified, so that we can get nicely structured your wells. So both the plates we have to do the same procedure with both the plates or both the casting apparatus. Now this is the actual SDS assembly. We are removing your gel from the casting trays. This is the proper way how you can remove. Now you have to keep remember that the inner side will be the smaller plate. The smaller plate will be at the inner side of this system. On the both side, the shorter plates will be on the inside. In this we don't have the second plate, so we can also use the dummy plate which is supplied by the manufacturer. It serves the same function as the normal two gel plates that we are using on the other side. So it is an equivalent, but we can only difference is you cannot load the samples in this plate. It is a dummy plate. So now this is the part that we need to put this under this bigger instrument or bigger compartment, and we have to tight these white looking pillars. After adding, we have to apply pressure at the top, and then we have to push those gates inwards. Now this is the complete SDS assembly is ready. Now we have to put these this assembly into the chamber or the buffer chamber or the unit, SDS unit, or we can call it as a tank, and we will fill this tank with the buffer. Only the inner chamber will be filled with the buffer, and some amount of buffer is also poured at the outer chamber. It's not necessary that you have to fill the outer chamber completely, but it is mandatory to fill your inner chamber completely with the buffer. And the buffer which we are using here is normal 0.5x TBE buffer, which we have already used in your electrophoresis gel experiment. So the same buffer we will be using 0.5x TBE buffer. Now after adding the buffer in the inner well, you can safely remove your comb. You have to keep this thing in mind while removing the comb, that no wells is broken. Now we are at the step of loading the samples. As you can see, they are small wells, and we have to check where is the well. We have to put the tip at the top of that well and then push the samples from the pipette. This is the exact process that how we have to load the samples in an SDS page assembly unit. As you can see, we are again and again loading the samples in the wells. So this is the top view, how it will look. This is your tip, and this is how you're gonna load the samples in your SDS page assembly. So this is how it's going to look once you complete all the loading of those samples. You have 10 wells. Now after loading the sample, you can also put some buffer on the outside. It's irrelevant to say that you can also add the outer buffer, or the outer tank you can also add the buffer before adding the samples, but it's okay. In this experiment we are filling the outer tank with the buffer. Now we have to attach the power supply. Just like your electrophoresis unit, it is also having an anode and a cathode. Now we will put this top, this is the anode, and then cathode we will plus and minus. We will use the connector, and we will start your electrophoresis unit or your power supply. We are running it at 180 volt. After running it for half an hour or 1 hour approximately, we can we can stop the process. Now we have to remove this assembly, and we have to take out our gel. This is an important process, how we can take out the gel. We have just to unscrew these two attachments at the corner of this assembly, and carefully have to remove the glass plates. Now what we have to do is, the first step is we just have to give a small wash so that the plates they don't get sticky while we are removing, because sometimes it happens that the plates get stick to themselves, and it is hard to remove them. Now we are removing the stacking gel, because all the samples are only in the resolving gel, so we can remove the stacking gel. It is obviously an optional option. The resolving gel is removed. Now after resolving gel is removed, you can put the glass plate into the water so that the gel can come easily off. after removing the gel, you have to wash it with distilled water a couple of times so that you can remove all the anything which is remaining or which is not required. We just need to give a wash with distilled water. 2-3 times we have to repeat the process. Now the next step would be the staining step. So what we are doing here, we will be using a ready-made solution for staining. So before using that, we have to microwave the gel. So all the SDS has been removed. Now the automatic page blue is that staining solution which comes ready-made from the Thermo Fisher. So this is a blue color page solution. It is a staining dye. We are putting both our gels into that staining gel, and we will put it on the rotatory shaker for few hours. Before putting it to the rotatory shaker, we have to microwave it just a little bit. And as you can see here, we are putting it on a shaking water bath, shaking rotor. After a few hours, or after suppose 30 minutes, you can say the staining has been completed. Now we have to de-stain this gel using the water. We have to again give it a couple of wash so that all the excess staining can be removed and only the proteins which are stained is removed. Now there is a recap of the staining technique. There is 3 staining technique for SDS page experiment. One is involving page blue, another one is involving Comesi blue dye, and another one is silver staining solution. The easiest one is your page blue, but the sensitivity wise, if you talk about the sensitivity of a particular staining process, then it will be silver staining. So in page blue, we have to give water wash, and we have to just add page blue solution or page blue stain, and we have to keep our gel in the page blue stain under a rotatory condition for 10 to 20 minutes. Then we have to de-stain the complete gel till all the staining solution has been removed except those been attached with the protein. So this is the page blue method. So in Comesi blue method, what we have to do is we are using Comesi blue dye, and we have to put our gel in Comesi blue stain solution for approximately 20 to 60 minutes. Then we have to de-stain it. What we are doing for de-staining, we are using methanol and acetic acid solution. We are not using distilled water as we are using in the previous method, page blue method. So the advantage with this method is it involves no microwaving. The third method is your silver staining. It is the most sensitive method for staining of a protein gel. What is the process of silver staining is, we will fix, the first process will be the fixation of the gel, and it involves the washing with methanol and acetic acid solution. Then we have to oxidize those fixed solution. After this first step, we will wash it with distilled water, then we will put the oxidizing solution again, then we will wash to remove all the extra oxidizing agent. Then we will put the gel into the silver nitrate solution or silver nitrate stain for approximately 20 minutes. Then again we have to give it a water wash. Then we have to use the developer solution. The developer solution is used, or it is composed of sodium carbonate and formaldehyde. And after this 6th step, we will finally get the results in the form of bands of your proteins. So this, if you talk about the time, then silver staining is the most time consuming, but it is most sensitive. And if you talk about the page blue, then it is most easy and most quick. So this marks the end of this SDS page experiment. I hope you have liked it. I have a small request before I end this video. For all those viewers who are visiting my channel for the first time, please like and subscribe, and share this video among your groups or among your friends who are not able to go to the actual lab and perform this actual lab experiment due to this COVID-19 situation. Okay, thank you.